Well, morning of day 6, and I've been lucky enough to find myself at the Black Bull in Balsham, which is probably the best place possible to be trying to recover a bit. My shin splints are still pretty bad, and I think it would be wise for me to rest up another day because I don't want a persistent injury which is going to scupper the whole thing. There also is the most fabulous food here, and as I discovered last night, a very important new element to the ley line, something called the Icknield Way, which runs straight from here to Royston. And I found out last night in the pub that there's actually a stone just over here on the village green which marks this, which is directly on the line, or on one of either the St Mary or the St Michael line. It must be, because I've never actually had an experience quite like it before. I've been to lots of stone circles and touched lots of megaliths and tried to feel the vibes, and never really have. And last night I went over there and I just sort of sat on the stone, and yeah, something was going on, there's no doubt about it. And when I touched it with my hands, you could just feel kind of a warmth and a kind of trickle charge of low electrical current just sort of trickling through one's fingers and up one's arms. And I'll go and have another look now. Well, here I am in the village green of Balsham, and the Icknield Way, which I just found out about yesterday, is an ancient pre-Roman straight track that passed right through here, and there's a stone just over here which marks the way, and goes straight directly from here to Royston and out the other side and beyond. And interestingly, in the middle of Royston, at Royston Cave, is where the two different currents of the St Michael and Mary line actually intersect and cross over, and they both pass through the middle of the Royston Cave. So rather than one single straight line, what we actually have is two distinct separate energies, a male and a female if you like, which are sort of entwined like serpents all the way through the country, but never really deviate more than a few hundred metres from the direct route. And where they intersect is where you find particularly important sacred sites like Bury St Edmunds, like Glastonbury Tor, and like Avebury. So here's the stone. And last night I came out here, and again, yes, if I just put my hand on it, I can definitely feel some form of quite subtle energy, but it's just like a little sort of trickle charge going into my hand. And if I close my eyes and try and visualize it, it feels like little sort of blue electric eels, little blue worms kind of sort of wriggling through my fingers and into my forearm. Weird. I've never actually experienced this before. I know lots of people talk about it, and I know healers and others go to certain standing stones to sort of charge up with power. Of course, I feel rather embarrassed doing this with everybody walking past and driving past thinking I'm some completely sort of outlandish New Age hippie. The other thing that happened last night was, as I left the church, we walked around it, had that experience, just as I walked out through the boundary gates of the church here, I felt this kind of waft of sort of wind just go over the crest of my head. Walked a few paces and then just sort of stopped dead in my tracks here, and just found myself sort of turning around and just feeling this kind of energy, this light, this something. And bizarrely enough, if I stand at the spot where I was, the pendulum is just sort of completely motionless. Take it or leave it.